I'm sure you've been looking forward to some contract questions, so here we go. In terms of the improvements, last time we spoke about a month ago, it was a discussion that you had to kind of sit down with them. Where are we up to in terms of your discussions with them? Obviously you're not going to divulge all the details, but in terms of how have those discussions gone?
They're positive. Not easy. Never easy when you're talking about tough decisions and futures, but in the end, positive discussions.
Is it, in terms of there being interest from France, is that just in the twins, or is that Rob as well?
No. Look, they always get interest, don't they? Because they're seen as South Africans who in some sense mercenary because they're already away from their home country. But what the Duprees have shown over the years is that they are very loyal, and they've made Manchester a second home. So it was aimed at one of the twins predominantly, but by one, and they talk vicariously like they all come into conversation, don't they? I think that's how we got them. We signed Rob, didn't we? And then one of the twins come over, and then we managed to sign the other two. So at present, they're still very much motivated to play for Sale at this point in time.
In terms of a couple of other guys who we've discussed in the past, in terms of Tom and George, they've been offered these hybrid contracts. Does that now not only offer clarity, but perhaps make it a bit easier in negotiations now, knowing that they've got those contracts on the table from England? Well,
it does in terms of England showing interest for them long term. I think that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about them knowing that they're in England's plans for the next World Cup. And if that's the case, they need to play in England, and they're going to play in England, then it's a question of what club they want to play for. So that makes it easier. What it doesn't do is decrease their earnings paid by the club. That's not what it's about, because they would have earned that money just per game through the game appearance. But it does time into staying in England, and those two specifically are players that could go for twice as much abroad. You know, so it negates the money from going abroad, and it means they can play for king and country, which is important.
Are those contracts that they've been offered, are you aware of how long they are? Are they more than just, say, a one-year deal? Are they deals through to the next World Cup?
Yeah, no, I'm not actually. I'll ask that question. They're 1 to 3 years, aren't they? They can have them, and I think they've given 17 out for the shortest period of time, by my understanding. So as they are aspirational. You know, we could have given 30 out for 3 years, but I think he's trying to make them quite unique.
Just one final contract one from me. Luke Cowan-Dickie, you said last time that discussions were going positively, even though he's not got one of these EPS contracts. Are you confident that he will stay, or is French money potentially going to be too tempting a factor?
Yeah, so I didn't want to speak to him whilst he was away. I just wanted him to get back in the England team and then get back in and play well for the England team, and he's done both those things, hasn't he? So it's great. How strong did he look? Strong like bull at the weekend. Hugh Jenner's just had a little conversation with them now. So nothing is signed on the dotted lines, but in terms of general figures of what is acceptable, we believe we're getting there. And part of that conversation is you will get offered more money from France. Right, so you know that, Luke. What will be enough for you to stay here? And we're thereabouts.
Thanks as always, Al. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Is that all right? Yeah, no, well, you didn't even know that, did you? But that was today, yeah. Conversation with Luke today.
Alex, Adam, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Just one on Luke. He was bouncing on Sunday night. I mean, how's he come back into your place?
Bouncing, yeah. He's got a little bit of fluid on a knee, which is not surprising. And that's, you just clean that up in a week. And he's going to have some time off over the next 3 weeks. It won't be this weekend. But yeah, he's been really, really positive.
And I mean, how how much admiration do you kind of have for what he's done over the last year? Because he was a bit down the dumps out the England frame and all the rest of it.
I don't know. You don't know the half of it. There's singularly no rugby player or human being, having been through what he's been through and come back to the level that he's at right now, that I have any more respect for than Luke Cowan-Dickie. Please put that down in writing.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Just quickly on Sunday's game, what we can see from the table what effect Cheika's had, but what do you think he's had in terms of Leicester style? Is he taking them back to what they traditionally did?
Yeah. They are the best defence currently. Fewest tries conceded, best defence in their own red zone. They've got pretty much the best set piece, most penalties in scrums, I think most tries in mauls. We've got more metres, but there's a challenge there. They've got the most balls back in the air, kick contest. But I think more importantly than all those things, they've got the bite back. Like he's given them some intent, which I'm happy for, actually. You don't want a team to be floundering. And I've got mates who play for him and who work for the organisation. I think we looked at them today and spoke about them today getting their bite back, and I spoke about us being a bit toothless against Bath. So fair game to them, like brilliant. They've started well, they've got the bite back, and it's on us to get ours. That's how we're kind of framing it this week.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, pal.
Hi, Alex, how are we doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. You, Tom, all right?
Yeah, not bad. So, yeah, just sort of jumping back to the Prem Cup, I just wanted to sort of know what your general review of that was and how you viewed those last few weeks.
Wholly positive for the group that took the field. You know, we messed around with that in terms of the cohesion in that last game against Newcastle because we needed to see people come back into the fold and blood. Some of the lads haven't played for a few weeks, but you know, there was times where that group and it's full of young, bright young things, as you know. Like, I can go through them like Toomey, Tom Burrow hasn't played anything above kind of championship before this season, and he's kind of dominating and running the line out there, and that was reflected in him getting pulled up to the England A training squad. Josh Gilmore, another 18-year-old in the back row, straight out of school and just looking all right at that level, which is kind of championship level, around that level, isn't it? And he's surviving and actually dominating there. Really, you know, Luke James got back on the field, Kieran will be aware of, and that's been good to see him back in the fold. We've got the Bedlow brothers playing together, so they enjoyed that. It's been a really positive 4 weeks because we've restructured the coaching department. There's been a shift in our language, our methodology, and we get a chance to see how that looked like with some of those younger lads. So really beneficial, not just what we've done on the field, but how we've been working off it as well.
Can you sort of give any insight onto what that shift in the language methodology has been, or is that sort of for Sunday?
No, not at all. I'm sure we'll see it on Sunday. You know, leaning back into Byron McGuigan and one of the things which was most concerning about some of our defensive displays was our tackle dominance, where we've been top of the tree for 5 years. We're around about 6th or 7th, and that's not us. You know, I talk about getting our bite back. There needs to be more intent in our power game, and he can do that. Like, I know he can do that, Byron. He can get them on the page from a mental point of view, from a mentality point of view. So there's a bit of that. The kicking game's changed, hasn't it? You know, you're not allowed to escort. You have to provide access, which means less people coming back around the ball. It gives you more numbers to attack if you do get that ball back, but also you have to be sharper on your transition to defence. So new policies. Believe it or not, everyone's kind of got a role from every ruck. If you were to put it on a screen, like, it looks mega complicated, like one of those stitching things where it's all like lines. But when you're actually running it, you've only got one job to do, but it gives you clarity and accountability. So a bit around that, and I've been leaning into the breakdown and getting on field a bit more. So I'm excited to see whether I can still coach as well.
Yeah, of course. And then just on the Prem Cup as well, I just wanted to sort of know if there's any players who you sort of viewed as played and sort of themselves into a Prem shirt based off that, or is...
Yeah, Luke's close. Luke James is really close. Tom Kurtz was always around there. Tyger McElroy, we needed to get him some cohesion within the team, so he'll feature over the next few weeks, as will Buzz. I think that's about it. They're the ones who have played those few games, and Ben Bamber, of course, has been exceptional right throughout the series of games that we've played.
Yeah, of course. I mean, on Ben Bamber, sort of. I mean, I'd expect to see him in the England A squad. So is it a bit of a surprise that he hadn't been selected? Did you get any sort of feedback on that?
No, it would have been if we hadn't got the phone call from Conor O'Shea, who's been really communicative and open around it. So he's still on the radar. We wanted to have a look at these players and kind of keep doing what you do, keep your head down, keep improving type stuff. So it wasn't like he was just cast aside. There was some comms there.
Yeah, of course. And then just on Tom Curtis, I just wondered, that in the Prem Cup games, we'd seen him looking at the crossfield kick quite a lot, which maybe sort of in the Prem we haven't seen as much. So I just wondered if that's something that is going to sort of, regardless of personnel, come into the game a bit more with, well, as you say, Leicester with their best defence in the league, if we might see a bit more crossfield kicking. Yeah,
I hope so. You know, kick to contest, kick to get the ball back. This is not a boring strategy. This is one to break up the game, and it's almost like getting a half break. It stretches the defence if you're doing those crossfield kicks, and you've seen South Africa do it a lot. You've seen New Zealand do it a lot against England. I think it was 3 times in the first 10 minutes. Because there's only 2 ways you can get around those kind of rush defences, which is everyone's doing. One's the kick and one's the bridge, which is that long pass, that looping pass. So I think you will see it coming into the Prem a lot more during this middle block of games, of 9 games.
Yeah, and then just finally, I just wanted to sort of ask a bit more about the guys who went away internationally. So I thought it's sort of a weird theme with a couple of the guys. So Ben Curry, Tom Roebuck and Aaron Reid. Aaron, when Scotland had a few wingers out for the South Africa game, I mean, no one even sort of thought to mention him, which I thought was strange. And then Roebuck had come on for a really good cameo against South Africa as well, and then didn't get back on because he was on for the sin bin or the HIA. And then, yeah, Ben Curry played well off the bench against New Zealand and wasn't seen again, so I sort of thought, what's the thoughts from within camp about how those guys did when they did get a chance compared to sort of how that weighed up against further chances? Yeah,
look, personally, I'm as I said to him, the first thing I said to him in the meeting today was like how proud we are of their efforts. And it's probably their efforts and the caps have been tainted by non-selection, as you said, throughout the campaign. And I don't understand the reasons for them. I don't really have to. But I can empathise with the players. And it, like you say, you can either let that take some lumps off you. You know, you can let it take shades off you in terms of your intensity, your motivation, or you can just use it in these next few weeks that they've got coming back in to the Premiership, coming back into this environment and prove our point, which is my point. This is what I said at the start. That's my point at the start. Is that there's some of those lads who really want to show that they're worthy of more and that they can do more.